For our Tour 10 Town series, I gather all the information from several works of fiction by Ed Greenwood, R.A. Salvatore, and even Christopher Perkins, just to name a few. You know, life in 10 towns is particularly hard, and that brings me to another topic. I want to give a big shout out to the men and women who work at the Veterans Administration hospitals and daytime mental health clinics. I have personally benefited from your services, and I know several others who receive your services on a daily basis just to face the problems that they have to deal with their day-to-day life and their adjustments from when they were in the service into civilian life. And some is even a lifetime struggle. Without your much needed assistance, some of us would still be fighting the problems that we had to deal with in our heads. I want to say thank you for showing us our voices once again. I salute every one of you. Now, on with the presentation. Welcome back to Targos Cave's tour of 10 towns. Today, we start to look at the 4 towns around Maer Dualdron Lake that call their shores their home. Sitting roughly 2 hours north of the gates of Branchander, as the crow flies, of course, we come to our first stop on Maer Dualdron Lake, the town of Targos. Now, Targos is the second largest and only other walled community in all of Icewind Dale. The residents here are not very welcome to outsiders because of past events that have happened over the course of time. Now, Targos does hope that one day they will become the capital city of Icewind Dale. They have an overabundant contribution to the other towns in 10 towns. This might help secure their endeavor. With fishing, hunting, trapping, furring, even the largest base of scrimshaw craftsmanship making up the main staple of their economy here in Targos. And the former town speaker even asked at one time that the businesses take care of the residents first over all their trade in Branchander. At Targos is set on the southern bank on top of a tall cliff of Maer Dualdron Lake. Her protective wall extends out into the lake to form an entry channel, which vessels must slow their approach when they come to her docks. There are some folk in this town that dwell outside the protective walls. And this is because the living space inside is limited, and what remains is really starting to go up in value. The town hall here has a stunning view which overlooks the harbor district and Maer Dualdron. Her marketplace is located somewhere near the center of town. And this is for the townfolk to buy, sell, and or trade their goods and services. You know, at one time, Targos was host to 5 inn taverns, which now 3 remain, which have survived the test of time and have a very rich history with the town. Of those, our first stop is the 3 Flags Sailing. Now, this is formerly known as the Wolf's Pelt Inn, with her withered face, but very inviting, pointed out toward Maer Dualdron for all to visit the harbor to see. Before the current bitter, never-ending winter, every fisherman on the lake knew where they could come to find a hot meal and refreshing drink when returning home with their catch. Now, if you're looking to let off some steam or gather information, this is definitely not the place to go. The patrons here are hardened from the harsh life of the fisherman and the harbor worker. They keep to themselves and only know how to earn a hard day's pay on the unforgiving waters of Maer Dualdron. This family-owned and operated business has been taking care of the blue-collar worker of Targos for better than 3 generations now. Meals here consist of salted meat, fish, some imported cheeses even, from places like Neverwinter and Waterdeep. For just 5 silver pieces a night, you can get a bed in the common room, which can hold roughly 26 cots for the weary traveler. Now, if you're able to afford the hefty 3 gold piece price per night, you could get yourself one of the 3 private rooms. Each contains 2 beds, a dresser, and a table. But as we know, most of us cannot afford that, except for those looking to get away from the busy city life, or even the occasional businessman coming through looking to take on a retinue. Now, our next stop is the Luskin Arms, the oldest standing public building in all the Dale. Some say back when Luskin Arms was built, Branchander was just a hunting and trapping campsite set on a hill, designed to mirror the inns of Luskin and meant to attract traders that often came here from the former city of Sales before her untimely demise. At this time, the current town speaker resides in the largest of the Luskin Arms rooms. He has said that he loves the view, and it reminds him so much of his former home. Occasionally he'll be accompanied by his associate, who is able to muster up to 216 loyal militia at any given time, if needed. This place is known for a place to gather information, or maybe even gather misinformation, if you're asking the right person. The drink here flows at night, and there's always a possible chance for an adventure to be found out of here. But I wouldn't recommend bedding down. You will most likely wake up a lot lighter than you laid down. Or you might even find yourself waking up in a snow pile behind the Luskin. Our last inn tavern on this stop is the Trip and Shuffle. It's located somewhere near the gate. As you're entering the door, you are seen by every eye in this establishment. Definitely not the place for the unskilled to be frequenting. The drink is slightly above the going price here, and the food is slightly less than adequate, if you know what I mean. I would be careful if you poke your nose around here. You might find it broken. Some even say that this establishment might have ties to the Purple Dragon Knights of Cormyr. But there are only just a few that know if this is truth or rumor. What sets Targos apart from the other 3 towns on Maer Dualdron is its deep waters of her harbor. This allows for the construction of large, or even larger, fishing vessels than the others are able to produce, making Targos' 100-plus fleet the dominant force on all of the lakes, which are now frozen in place. Targos is also the only town on all 3 lakes with a locally operated dock workers guild. Before recent events, this guild was very active in trying to spread the word to bring unity to all the dock workers of 10 towns. They even had influencing among shipwrights, warehouse workers, and even the dock lads themselves were considering joining. If you're looking for adventuring or climbing gear, I'd suggest you go to the Triglio General Store. But you'd be very disappointed if you're looking for any fishing gear here. He just doesn't have any. This general store is named after a chanty, or call it a cadence, sung by the fishermen to keep time when pulling in their nets. I believe it goes like this: Triglio, lads, and hoist upon the line. Triglio, lads, and bring yon fishers in. The quality here is better, but the prices are slightly higher than they are in Branchander. As most adventurers know, the further north you go, things tend to get a little more scarce. Our last stop here in Targos is Grendel's fine Dwarven craft smithy. If you're looking for a good quality set of armor, crafted by a battle-hammered dwarf and the only living being in Targos who remembers the Icewind Dale Wars. Be known, there is a very long waiting list for his fine crafted armor. Now, if you do have time, and you offer up old Grendel a drink, he will be very appreciative. He'll even regale you with one of his historically accurate, but fragmented accounts. You'll need to pay close attention when he speaks, because he does sometimes tend to mesh two connecting stories together. For a picture and a bit of your time, I might be personally inclined to tell you in my own words about the Icewind Dale War, how it all started, and how it come to pass. This is a very, very interesting topic to me, and it does cover several editions of Dungeons & Dragons, and even numerous novels written. Now, if you hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell icon over there, you won't miss out on any new content when we make it. Give us a like if you found our tour interesting and engaging, because I try to keep things going, if you know what I mean. For a breakdown of the cleric classes listed in the 5th edition Player's Handbook, check out that playlist right over here. We really appreciate all you viewers, and if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be making this content ourselves. And until we meet again, stay safe and have a great day.